The most money I have ever made in the stock market was made as a result of the pandemic. I recognized when I saw American Express, McDonald's, Valero, and Exxon crash, lose anywhere from 50 to 61% of their value. I knew they were going to come back. I knew that people were going to go back to McDonald's. I knew that American Express credit card would continue to be a mainstay of the credit industry. And I knew people would be buying gasoline again sometime in the future. Here's the numbers. Here's what actually happened. American Express dropped 52% in a matter of a month. McDonald's 43, Valero 44, and Exxon 61. If you had held on to them, you'd be up 244, 372%. You can see the numbers. So what I realized was these stocks were depressed, but they were coming back. Well, we've got the same thing going on again. The semiconductor industry as a whole is down 8%. That's even considering what NVIDIA has done and micro technology has done. They're up, but the whole industry is down 8%. Look at this. These are the stocks I'm following in the semiconductor industry. You've heard me talk about AEHR. It's down 80% on semiconductor, down 42. NVTS down 82. You can see them there. They're all down. Even Tesla down 49% from its high, not its high, but from August of 2023. They're down that much today. But are they going to come back? Of course they're going to come back. AEHR has no debt. NVTS has no debt. These companies are in the semiconductor business, and because interest rates are up, you aren't buying EVs, you aren't buying PCs, you aren't buying new mobile phones, and you aren't even buying refrigerators. And that's what these people are into, and so they're depressed. But with no debt, you know they're going to come back. They're going to be the 200. There's one of them on there that's $4 a stock right now. It'll go back to 22. I know that because they have no debt and they are in the business. I want you to listen to their CEO. I want you to hear what he said in the earnings report about what they're doing right now and where their situation is. Listen to this.
As we celebrate our 10-year anniversary, I'm very excited to announce a number of major milestones for the company, including a customer pipeline as announced in December of over $1.25 billion, and our highest quarterly revenue ever with over $26 million in Q4. This quarterly result exceeds our guidance and reflects an increase of 111% from Q4 of the prior year. In total, 2023 annual revenue comes in at $79.5 million, which reflects growth of approximately 109% over 2022 in a year when overall semiconductors were generally down around 8%. Overall, while we're not immune to the near-term market headwinds, which are translating to more muted revenues in the first half of 2024, the significant new wins that I've highlighted in my remarks, in combination with an anticipated market recovery starting in the second half of the year, are expected to translate into full-year 2024 revenue growth of 40% to 50% over 2023. Revenue in the fourth quarter of 2023 was again above our guidance, growing 111% year-over-year and 19% sequentially to approximately $26.1 million. For the full year of 2023, we grew revenue to $79.5 million, representing year-over-year growth of 109%. Turning to the balance sheet, it remains very strong with high levels of liquidity. Cash and cash equivalents at quarter end were $152.8 million, and we continue to carry no debt. Moving on to guidance for the first quarter. We currently expect revenues of $23 million, plus or minus $500,000. At the midpoint, this represents substantial year-over-year growth of more than 70% over the $13.4 million we recorded in the first quarter of 2023 and is slightly down off of the fourth quarter of 2023, largely due to expected seasonality in our mobile business and some softness in the other markets as we already discussed. To put that in perspective compared to the first quarter of 2023, at the midpoint of our guidance, we expect revenues in the first quarter of 2024 to grow more than 70%, yet operating expenses based on our guidance are expected to grow only 20% over the same period. In closing, We're extremely pleased with the results for the quarter and for all of fiscal 2023. Our results continue to demonstrate that we can and expect to grow significantly faster than the overall market. While we are not immune to some of the same macro trends seen by others, leading to more muted outlook for the first half of the year, we expect the strength of our pipeline and some market recovery in the second half of the year will support annual revenue growth of 40% to 50% in 2024 relative to 2023.
So how did I find NVTS? I went to my search website and I said, show me a stock that's in the semiconductor industry whose earnings are up over the last 5 years and whose earnings are continuing to go up now. And look down on the bottom here, it showed up with 3 stocks and he's in pretty good company. You'll see the second one is NVIDIA. Then I went to it and I said, okay, what are the ratings on these stocks? What do people feel they're worth? And you can see them there. There's Morgan Stanley, there's Bank of America, there's Jefferies. They're all predicting this $4 stock has a value of between, $9.20, that's a double, up to $24. Come on, how easy does it get? So then what do? I go to my chart and I look at it and I say, where has this stock been? Well, you can see it's been all the way up to over $22 a share, and it's down to $4, and they have no debt. So then I go and I do my analysis and I find out their revenues from 2019 to 2020 went up 594%, then 101%, and then 60%. And then in 23, the revenues went up another 110%. In 24, they're up 43, and they're projected to be up 78 and 52 over the next 2 years. You've got to be kidding me. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Their revenues lead their earnings, which then takes to their stock price. And I showed you yesterday how NVIDIA did it, Supermacro did it. It's a pattern that is, and Tesla did it. It's a pattern that if you look at their history, you can see what's coming. So then what do? I go to Zacks and I say, okay, this is a $4 stock, Zacks. You tell me, what do your gurus, what do your analysts say the stock is worth? Well, they say the average price, the low price is $6.80 on a $4 stock. The average price is $9.80. That's a double. And the high is 12. That's a triple. And that's within the next year. And again, remember what the CEO said. They're doing more business than they ever had. Their business this last year from 2023 to 2024 was up 90%. And yet their stock price is down 82%. Is this a gift from the gods? And they have no debt. Is this a gift from the gods, or am I missing something here? It's the pandemic all over again. The people get scared. They don't understand. But you know who does know this has value? I showed you. It's Morgan Stanley. It's Bank of America. It's Robert Beard. It's Jefferies. They're all building positions in this stock at $4. I bought it I got an order in even at $3.95. So I put 1,000 shares in it, and it goes from $4,000 to $20,000 in probably less than a year. And then it'll probably, just like from the pandemic, you got another 200% ahead of you. Okay, it just doesn't get much easier than this. But you've got to know where to look, and you've got to have somebody who can guide you. That's what I do. If you'll come to my website, bestofusinvestors.com, I have what I call my cheat sheet, and I go through every one of these 37 stocks, and I analyze them, and it's just like what I'm showing you here. AEHR on, NVTS, Excelis, Exteria, INTT, Skyworks, and Tesla. It's the pandemic all over again, but people don't learn. They don't recognize when history is repeating itself because it's a little different. No, it's not a disease in your body. It's Jerome and his interest rates and Janet and her money supply. But once that is cured, once we get the semiconductor vaccine, we're off to the races again. God grief, it just can't get any easier. Come get on the bus and let's have some fun together and let's make some money as well.